A very strange package arrives at the home of the brothers Justin and Aaron. In the box, they find a videotape from Camp Arcadia, a group they joined when they were children 10 years ago. Justin took his brother and himself out of what he believed was a UFO-related suicide cult after discovering the group's plans to take their own lives. But Aaron remembers it differently, with good memories of food and support. Comparing their current life, Aaron is convinced that he lived better at the camp. In therapy, Justin shares his concern about Aaron. He admits that he felt relieved to know that the cult's people were still alive, but he feels guilty for having taken his brother away from them, especially if they were as good as Aaron remembers. Despite everything, Justin firmly believes that it's better to be free in the real world. On the other hand, Aaron expresses his frustration about Justin's controlling attitude during his therapy session, but he doesn't want to talk to Justin about it to avoid hurting his feelings. Faced with Aaron's insistence on getting closure, Justin finally gives in and agrees to return to the camp for a day. While driving to the camp, Justin lists all the things that identified the group as a cult, things Aaron doesn't remember. Hearing this, Aaron wonders why Justin agreed to return if he holds such a negative opinion about the cult. The brothers stop in a field where their mother died. Aaron notices a painting, but Justin recalls that it's the painting they made as children. Justin looks down the road and notices that the opposite paths are identical. When he turns around, one of the paths has changed. They continue their journey and encounter an angry man. Finally, they arrive at Camp Arcadia, where they receive a warm welcome from Hal. They have lunch with Hal and reunite with old camp friends, Tim, Anna, and Shane. With them is Lizzie, a newcomer who arrived at the camp after leaving a mental health institution. On the other side of the room is Dave, who watches the brothers with a big smile. Heading to their quarters, Justin notes how everyone at the camp looks the same as when they left, something Aaron attributes to a healthier lifestyle offered by the camp. Above his bed, Justin finds a sticky note asking them to be quiet. Justin goes jogging around the camp. While exploring, he sees people practicing archery, Hal loading a truck with barrels of craft beer, and the same angry man marching down the path, who seems not to notice his presence. That night, the camp gathers around the bonfire. Noticing Justin's detachment, Hal invites him to his cabin to taste his homemade liquor. Justin looks around the cabin and finds an incomplete equation, but Hal refuses to say what it's for. Changing the subject, Hal assures Justin that they have forgiven him for leaving and talking to the press about their group, although he wonders why they have returned. Justin, confused, remembers the videotape they received from the camp, but Hal claims to know nothing about the video. Aaron chats with Anna by the bonfire and follows her to her cabin, where she shows him her fashion designs. Anna reminds Aaron of his interest in fishing when they lived there, giving him an idea. Outside, Shane invites Justin to see a card trick. Shane picks Justin's card from the deck, but Justin lies and says he's mistaken. Shane insists on showing him another magic trick, throwing an old baseball into the air, which does not fall back down. Shane takes Justin's hand and positions it, allowing Justin to catch the ball. Later, Hal gathers everyone to begin the traditional game. The struggle is a tug-of-war against an invisible opponent, symbolizing their fight for passion, growth, and a higher power. While Hal pulls on the rope, the other end suddenly rises into the sky. Justin assumes it's Dave on a ladder in the darkness. The crowd encourages Aaron to play next, where he almost immediately fails. However, he doesn't give up. Aaron ties the rope around his torso on his second attempt, allowing him to use his weight to pull. He grunts as he moves forward quickly, successfully pulling the rope until he falls. The crowd applauds him. Justin hesitates to participate until Aaron convinces him. Justin gets ready to pull, but the rope moves forward abruptly, causing him to fall and injure his hand. The crowd falls silent, with Dave smiling behind them. Clearly, it wasn't him who pulled the rope. Later, Lizzie tends to Justin's wound, sharing how she used to do the same for a gun enthusiast who lives in the woods. Hal checks on Justin and apologizes for what happened. With both watching him expectantly, Justin leaves. Walking back to their cabin, Aaron insists they stay one more day, interested in shooting some guns for target practice tomorrow. Justin isn't interested at first, but finally agrees. They see Tim smoking next to a locked cabin. Tim claims there's only rowing equipment inside, which the brothers don't believe. At their cabin door, they find another sticky note that says "Please, quiet," which they remove immediately. Unable to sleep, Justin mentions the relationship between Aaron and Anna. He remembers that Anna watched Aaron attentively even when they were young. Aaron wonders if they're meant to be together, but Justin is skeptical. The next day, Justin and Aaron practice with the guns, but Justin strangely misses, with the bullet falling near them. The bullet is dented at the tip, as if it hit something hard. Later, the brothers fish at the lake before Justin goes running alone. He again sees the strange marching man on the path, but he disappears, leaving only one shoe with a drop of blood. Justin continues until he finds a storage container in the field, which suddenly moves. A gust of wind blows, and the sky darkens. Justin looks down and sees Polaroids scattered before him. He picks one up, confused by what is happening. A tree behind him falls, making him jump, frightened. Justin turns around and leaves. Meanwhile, in an old tent, a tape recorder plays a song repeatedly. Someone inside runs and grunts over and over. An old clock hangs outside the tent. The second hand moves backward constantly. That night, Lizzie sings for everyone on karaoke night. Behind Justin, another sticky note asking for silence is on the board. Justin pulls Hal aside from the party and shows him the Polaroid of a buoy in the lake he found earlier. Justin feels that something invisible was watching him, just as when he was a child. He dismissed this as imaginary, but now that he has experienced it again, he wants answers. In the sky, they find two moons, which Hal describes as a sign of truth, while a third moon will signify ascension. Hal advises Justin to take Aaron to the buoy in the Polaroid tomorrow and seek answers there. No matter what he believes or finds, it will bring Justin relief. The night continues, and Aaron sings for the crowd, obtaining recreational substances from Anna. Justin finds Lizzie drawing the armed man from his stories. With his house on fire, Justin moves on and sees a girl crying alone. Meanwhile, Anna takes Aaron to see a phenomenon resembling a mirror that reflects the landscape before them. Aaron mentions the video they received from the camp, but Anna denies sending it. She swears she would never send a video outside the camp, especially one Justin would find. When Aaron asks what she means, she changes the subject, not wanting to spoil the mood. Back at camp, Justin approaches the woman Jennifer, who is crying because she can't sleep while everyone is partying. She has been leaving notes asking for silence, but no one listens. Jennifer is not part of the group, but she's there because her husband disappeared near the camp. For days, she tried to find her husband until Hal found her and brought her to the camp. Tears in her eyes, she contemplates how long she's been searching, separated from her son, who is with her parents. The next day, Justin takes Aaron fishing, as Hal suggested. Despite the strange things they've seen at the camp, Aaron wants to stay permanently. Justin laments the idea of leaving the outside world and mentions Jennifer, who is miserable at the camp. While Aaron argues, Justin finds the buoy from the Polaroid floating in the lake. Justin dives into the lake to search for answers at the bottom, leaving Aaron alone when he doesn't surface. After a while, Aaron prepares to dive after him. Justin appears behind him, dropping something in the boat before climbing in. He babbles fearfully, claiming there is something in the lake, and orders Aaron to row back to shore. Back on land, they open the metal box Justin found at the bottom of the lake. The ominous tape inside convinces Justin to leave immediately. Aaron protests, but Justin insists on leaving, even if he must go without him. Tired of the same argument, Aaron gives in and asks to say goodbye to everyone before leaving. That night, they dine with the group, where Lizzie gives Justin a drawing of a dark beast in the woods. Hal insists on playing the tape they found in the lake as a farewell ceremony, explaining that this is how the entity that protects them communicates. The TV plays a video of a young Justin and Aaron performing their sectarian version of Camp Arcadia for outsiders. Humiliated, the brothers get up to leave, but Hal stops them, insisting that the message is meant to forgive them for shaming the camp to the outside world. Aaron discovers that Justin's harsh stories about the camp were lies, which enrages him. But Justin explains that he lied because he knew something was wrong at the camp. Hal, however, suggests that Justin made up those stories because he was desperate to leave. Even as a child, Justin felt uncomfortable seeing that there was no leader controlling the camp. He accuses Justin of wanting to be in control, which Justin denies. Pushed to the limit, Hal accuses Justin of ruining the camp, despite having saved his life from the car accident that killed his mother. Due to Justin and Aaron's stories, Hal and the others had trouble doing business in the outside world when many people saw their faces on the news, believing they were a crazy cult. Justin is not swayed by these accusations, pointing out Jennifer, terrified and clinging to the false hope of finding her husband. Justin insists on leaving, but his brother refuses. Enraged, Justin snaps at Hal, who tells him to make things easier for everyone and leave alone. Justin heads to his car, but it won't start. He decides to walk, but finds strange rock markers blocking his path. He turns around and sees a snake on the ground, which disappears as soon as he moves away. Behind him appears a cabin he hadn't noticed before. He sees a man entering the cabin and follows him to ask for help. But when he opens the door, he finds the man hanged inside. Suddenly, another man shouts at him from behind. Justin falls to the ground upon seeing that this man looks exactly like the one who's hanged in the cabin. The other man, Carl, ignores the body and scolds Justin for being there. Carl sets up chairs in front of the cabin and jokes about Justin returning to the death cult. Justin, confused, wonders how he got lost and how the same man hanging in the cabin is now talking to him. Carl laughs and explains that the place is trapped in a time loop that repeats tragic events over and over to appease the entity that resides there. People trapped in the loop must commit suicide to reset time. Otherwise, the entity will kill them more violently. Carl tells Justin that if he wants to leave, he must do so before the loop resets, or he'll be trapped like the rest. But Justin wants to get Aaron back first. Carl offers to help, showing Justin that when someone trapped in the loop crosses beyond the markers, they become trapped again, but Justin can still pass. Carl asks him to get a gun from Chris, who is also trapped in another loop. Carl gives Justin a compass, telling him to trust it and not what he sees. Before Justin leaves, Carl laments being trapped, even in his mind. The entity does not let him sleep or dream, so all he knows is the world inside his loop. In the morning, Aaron wakes up and finds a flock of birds forming a circular shape in the air. The birds drop Polaroids in front of him. Aaron picks them up and sees a photo of a caravan and of himself. He gives the photos to Hal, who theorizes that the entity protecting them shows them what it sees, which leads Aaron to think it was watching him. Hal suggests going to the caravan in the photo, but Aaron is worried about Justin, leaving the decision to him. Hal tells him to follow a path, warning that he must find Justin before the third moon is full. Aaron follows the path as Hal suggested, passing beyond one of the loop's markers and then looking back. Anna walks along the same path on the opposite side, but neither can see the other. At Chris's house, Justin runs into Chris and Mike. It turns out Mike has Chris handcuffed inside to help him overcome his addiction, and that reminds Justin of the gun enthusiast Lizzie mentioned. Mike returns with a hard drive that has another message from the entity. He plays it on his computer, and they see another video of Mike and Chris attempting to escape the loop, but dying in the process. The entity warns them that their plans are not going to work. Chris advises Justin to leave the loop, no matter what the entity shows him. Meanwhile, Aaron sees an old tent with a clock at the entrance. Hearing music and screams, he takes a look and sees a man repeatedly standing up from his seat. He is killed and starts over again. The guy tells him he can't help him and that he should leave. When Aaron doesn't move, the man runs toward him and explodes into a bloody mass, frightening Aaron. Mike lets Justin take weapons from the basement of Chris's house, saying he still wants to escape the loop. He mentions his wife and baby, which leads Justin to realize he is Jennifer's husband. He thinks about telling him where she is, but upon seeing they won't meet while trapped in their respective loops, he leaves. After Justin leaves, Mike sprays the house with gasoline and sets it on fire. Justin checks his bag and realizes he left Carl's map inside the house, but Chris's house is already in flames, and the map burns with it. In the blink of an eye, the house resets, with Chris sitting on the porch. Mike arrives at the house as if nothing happened. With the third moon almost full, Justin heads back to Carl's house. Using the compass as a guide, he finds a trailer with a cougar nearby. The cougar growls at him, but leaves. Aaron suddenly appears, entering the loop around the trailer. The brothers check the trailer and find a note from its owner. Thinking no one is home, they leave. As soon as they do, a projector turns on, showing the brothers leaving the trailer. The projector suddenly launches into the air, above the many loops contained in the area. By nightfall, Aaron and Justin find numerous statues while the camp gathers for a feast. The brothers reach Carl's cabin at dusk, leaving the gun and taking the map back to Camp Arcadia. Here Aaron decides he still wants to stay, despite the idea of being trapped in the time loop forever. He's tired of struggling with life in the outside world and would rather die for a few seconds in each reset, as long as he's happy with his life when he's alive. Despite the idea that he can never leave, Aaron prefers it to fighting Justin again. Once they leave, Carl comes out of his cabin and takes the gun. He first fires into the air before shooting himself in the head. Even as he does, his loop resets. Returning to camp, they see Jennifer leaving by bike and Tim unlocking the cabin he's been guarding. Inside, they find countless tapes and records, a TV at the center. The TV turns on, showing their experiences at the camp from the entity's point of view. It then shows the camp gathered around the bonfire that night, where a rope falls into the middle of the group. Frightened, Aaron runs to the bonfire, but arrives too late. The place is destroyed. With the group's clothes abandoned, Justin reminds him that they will return once time resets. The brothers sit and wait. Justin decides to stay, not wanting to leave his brother behind. With Justin finally respecting his decision, Aaron chooses to leave. Suddenly, the camp begins to reset. The brothers run to their car, but it won't start. Instead, they push it downhill, with Justin giving Aaron instructions on what to do. Aaron takes the wheel, tired of letting Justin control their lives. The brothers finally reconcile their differences, promising to treat each other as equals if they make it through this night. They climb into the car as it speeds downhill, passing beyond markers before the reset catches them. With daylight, the car appears out of nowhere. The brothers escape, leaving Camp Arcadia and everyone in it behind.